Hey everyone! So today I'm going to be filming a foundation video. This is just what I've been using a lot the past few days, and all of the products that I'm using are fragrance free. So it's perfect for if you have sensitive skin, because a lot of people don't realize it, but fragrances and makeup and lotions and stuff are often what will aggravate your skin. At least that's in my case. I have to stay away from fragrance products as often as possible. So that's why I usually use these brands. And I switch up my foundations actually very often, but this is what I've been using a lot the past couple of days, so I thought I would show it to you. Because I've added in more products, it's not just Marc. I do mostly use Marc. I'd say probably 90% of my products are Marc, but I'm trying to switch things up and try a bunch of different products to find what works best for me. So first I'm going to be using the Marc Primed for Perfection, and it's just a normal face primer. Face primers, what they do is they basically work as a base for your foundation, so then the foundation grabs onto this base and then it'll last much longer. So I've put that on, and now the foundation I'm going to be using today is the Clinique Acne Solutions foundation. I believe I've used this in another video, and basically it's a foundation that has salicylic acid inside of the foundation, so then it fights your acne while you're wearing it. And lately I've had a little bit of blemishes along here and up here and up here, and it's been annoying. So I'm going to be using this for the next couple of days to see if it'll help clear it up. So I'm just going to take a small amount of product onto my hand, about this much. I'm going to take my Eco Tools foundation brush, it's just a flat brush, and I'm going to warm up the product on the back of my hand. This will just melt it down and make it easier to blend. So let me zoom in a little closer. So now that I have this warmed up, I'm going to take the brush and distribute the product where I have the most problem areas. I'm just going to dot it in my most problemed areas, and then now I'm going to blend it in. I'm going to do that by doing kind of crisscross motions. You just bring it out all one way, and then you go again the next in a different direction. So first I had gone this way, so now I'm going to go this way. And that just blends things in a little easier. I just put the foundation on my forehead, my nose, and my chin area because that's where I get the most problems and the most discoloration. Just so you know, I switch up my foundations very often. I'm going to show you the ones that I use the most. The Clinique Acne Solutions, like I just showed you. Another one from Clinique, the Even Better foundation, and that gets rid of discoloration. Then I have this, the Neutrogena Healthy Skin Enhancer, and that one contains retinol, so that's really good for you. And then the Marc Get a Tint, which is a tinted moisturizer that has SPF 15. And then when I'm on the go and I don't have time, I take this stick foundation. I forget what it's called, but it's from Marc, and I'll put it in the bottom bar. And it's a cream stick, so it has a nice powdery finish, so then I use that when I don't have a lot of time. So those are the foundations that I use the most. Now I'm going to get into concealer. And as a disclaimer, I did receive these concealers for free. Now, this is the only time I've actually ever received anything for free, at least so far, because I was actually really surprised to be offered this because I only have about 500 subscribers. But anyway, it's from Physicians Formula, and I got these two and a couple of other products that I'm going to show in other videos. I was really excited to try out these new products that they were sending me because I used to use it a lot in my junior year of high school. Now I'm a junior in college. I'm not really sure why I stopped, but I would use their powder foundation because back then I would only use powder basically. But anyway, so I received these two things for free, and they're concealer twins. I call them twins because they have two on each side. So first you have yellow concealer, and that actually works to get rid of bluish and purplish tints, so that would basically your under eye circles, or if you have any bruises or hickeys, things like that. And then the green is to hide redness. So this you would use on pimples, things like that. So I'm going to use the green on my pimples and the yellow on my under eye circles. So now zoom back in. Okay, so now we're back to a really close view of my face. So first I'm going to start with the green, and make sure to use very small amounts of this product. Just basically put a small dab where you need it because it is very thick. So the more you put, the harder it will be to blend in. So I'm just going to take this where I have redness. So it's here, basically along my whole nose. I have a pimple there, right there, here, one starting there, so that's really annoying. And a little bit around my mouth area because I've gotten cold sores before, so they have like left marks. So now I'm going to take my concealer brush. It looks like this. It's just a flat top and then you pat in the color. I'm just going to pat lightly here along my lips. And up here. So now I've blended that in and you can see the area is less red. So then that makes it easier to hide. So now I'm going to take the concealer twin with the yellow shade and I'm going to dab this underneath my eyes. Here and here. I'm going to use more of the product underneath my eyes because I need more of it. But then I just kind of roll it and it helps get rid of your under eye circles. And just roll that in. So now I look a little bit better there. My under eye circles are really hard to cover. So now I'm going to take another MARC product, and that's the MARC Save the Day. And now that I've gotten rid of this redness, I want to kind of like even out the texture a little. So I'm going to take a little bit of this concealer and put it on top of where I put the green. And then just blend that in again with my concealer brush. Now before I set my face with the powder, I'm going to take the MARC Cheat Sheet Shine Blotters and I'm going to get rid of the excess oil on my face. This is an important step to do before you set your foundation because if you have excess oil on your skin, then your makeup is going to melt off quicker and the powder won't bond as well. I'm just going to take off excess oil. So now this sheet is all soaked up. And now I'm going to take another product from Physicians Formula, though this one I purchased myself, and it is the Mineral Wear Talc Free Mineral Correcting Powder in Translucent. So it looks like this, and I really like to use this powder to set my foundation because it has a swirl of color. It corrects red, blue, all kinds of discoloration. This will take care of because it has a swirl of all of these colors. So now I'm actually not going to be using a kabuki. This time I'm going to be using this brush from EcoTools. It's really made for mineral, but I actually like how this and this work together. I pretty much only use this brush with this. I don't know, I like how they work together, but I haven't really liked how it works with any of my other powders, so I don't know. But anyway, so I just take a little bit of color, tap off the excess because this powder really likes to shed. So I'm going to tap off the excess and then just put it where I have foundation and concealer. So I'm not going to touch my cheeks yet. So I'm just going to take this underneath, down my face, basically on my T-zone. Okay, and now I'm going to start worrying about my cheeks because powder is actually what makes you look the most cakey. Like there's a difference between putting too much foundation and too much powder. And I think putting too much powder actually looks worse because it just sits in your pores and it doesn't really work out as well. And also, again, all of these products are fragrance free. So Clinique products don't carry fragrances, MARC products don't carry fragrances, and neither does Physicians Formula. So that's why I love all of these products the most. So now I'm going to put on a bronzer. This is a different bronzer than I've ever tried before. And it's again from Physicians Formula, and this wasn't sent to me. My dad bought me this bronzer and this blush, which I thought was really nice of him. I really appreciated that. This bronzer is really interesting because first, it's really cute. Isn't that adorable? Then you just like, whoop. Anyway, it's adorable. So it's called the Healthy Wear Bronzer, and you open up the compact. It has a mirror. Then this is the bronzer, and underneath is a brush. I never really use those brushes though. And anyway, this bronzer is made for fair skin, so it's a very light bronzer. See, that's what it looks like. Honestly, that's probably some of you guys' foundation. But I have really, really fair skin, and most bronzers that I've tried are way too harsh on me. They're just like brown, like they're the same kind of brown as my hair. And that is like really hard for me to pull off. I can't use that much, I can't use that dark colors on my face. So I really like this bronzer because it's made for my fair skin. Basically it's like 4 shades darker than my skin, and it's slightly more olive. I have more of a pink undertone. This is kind of like a orangish undertone. But anyway, so this is the bronzer I've been using, and I really like it, and especially because it doesn't have shimmer. I don't like to put a lot of shimmer on my face. So anyway, I'm going to be taking a MARC bronzer and blush brush. It looks like this. It has a flat top. So I'm just going to swirl in this color, tap off the excess, and I'm going to make a 3 along my face. I'm going to start at my hairline, bring it down underneath my cheekbone, and then underneath my jaw. Then do it again on this side. Take a little more color if you need it. I'm going to take a little bit more. And also this bronzer, what makes it so good is that it has SPF in the powder. That's what I love about Physicians Formula's products. They have SPF even in powders, which it took me a while to really grasp that, because I always figured SPFs had to be liquid, but that is totally not true. So anyway, it has SPF 50 in the bronzer, so that I'm protecting my skin at the same time. So there, I've created my 3. Blend that out a little. Make sure to always carry your products into your neck, so then it looks more natural. There, so I have my bronzer. It's very light, but it actually does give me a little more color, because I have the lightest skin tone. I'm always the lightest shade in any product, basically. So now I'm going to take, oh, I forgot to mention, let me see, what color is this? This is the Healthy Wear SPF 50 bronzer in the shade Fair. So this is for the lightest skin. Now I'm going to be using a blush from Physicians Formula. And I'm using the shade Blushing Berry, and it's in the Powder Palette Multicolored Blush. So it's like this. It has a whole bunch of colors, so then when you swirl it together, it looks more natural. So I'm just going to be using that same brush. Take a little swirl of color. Tap off the excess, and this is kind of like a berry plum kind of color, so it has kind of like a purplish undertone. So I'm just going to take this right above where I have my bronzer. Do a couple of swipes, and then swirl it into my apples. If you don't know where your apples of your cheeks are, smile. That's why I didn't use any setting powder on my cheeks or foundation, because I knew I was going to be putting bronzer and blush, and I didn't want too much powder on my face. So that is my basic routine, so what I've been wearing for the past couple of days. It's very light and natural, just to kind of enhance my features a little more without covering them up too much. Now, one other thing that I also always do, normally I wait until after I've done my lips, my eyes, and my eyebrows. That I do differently all the time. But first, for the purpose of this video, I will show it to you. I always set my foundation and all of this with my MARC Missed Opportunity. Again, I've mentioned this in almost all of my videos. It's my favorite MARC product, and it kind of refreshes your face. It just feels good, and it also like sets your makeup at the same time, so it'll last a little longer. Even though it's a liquid, it's not going to affect what you just put on your face. So you just put it back, spray it a couple times. And I like to kind of drag it down into my neck too, because it just feels really refreshing. So anyway, that is my foundation routine, and I hope you guys found that useful. All of these products are, again, fragrance free, so they are perfect for sensitive skin. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you found this video useful, and I hope to see you soon. Bye!